I got kind of nostalgic when I was going through. I started with this service, and then I was like, Lions Club. You can see how versatile I am. Best ugly sweater at the sweater contest. I'm sorry for those of you who actually tried. It's not my fault. I didn't want to be a part of it. Very artistic, as you can see. Look at my lion on the wall. Yeah, very dedicated. If you go to Mobile Loves in Fishes and the chess set does not have a king there, I'll be your king. But yeah, a little bit about myself. I'm a junior studying international relations and economics. I've been in Lions since the second semester of my freshman year, and I've loved it ever since. I'm not going to say too much today. I just want to talk about what my vision for service is, what kind of things I want that to manifest as, and then I'll answer any kind of questions you guys have. So, for me, Lions Club, the reason that Lions Club was so engaging and brought me in the first place was it was this social group of people who like to serve. So all the stuff that we can do, most of the stuff that we do, you could probably go do it by yourself. But Lions Club, you get to do it with other people who share that passion for service that you have, and I think that's what's really special. That's what brought me in and kept me here. So my vision is to create that welcoming, fun environment where service-minded people can make an impact in their community together. And I think that's something that's very unique to Lions. Just that it's social and mission-based. So that's why I love service so much. Oh, my fire isn't orange, sorry. So basically, the way I see that manifesting is through events themselves. I want them to be intentional. So I want to, rather than just weekend by weekend trying to fill space and just we just want to get people out and doing stuff. This past year we've been focusing a lot more on finding events that are really meaningful, and so I want to keep that going. Welcoming, I think it's, as we talk about, our club gets bigger and bigger every week, every semester. I think it's really important, service has a big role to play in making our events very welcoming and keeping people here and making it feel like it's not just this huge club. You can have friends and create a little social group and have people that you recognize. So I want to make our service events as welcoming and as sociable as possible, so you can meet a lot of new people. Engaging, I think that falls in the same vein as those other two, and then thoughtful. I want us to. I have some ideas about possibly talking a little bit more about our service, because there's a lot of events that we do that are really meaningful, and sometimes it feels like we go out and do those events and they're very impactful, and then we just come back to campus and it's that's it. We sort of forget about it. And we'll do recaps and stuff, but we never really talk about why we're doing it. So I mean, that has some possible manifestations, but I just want us to talk a little bit more about if it's just in our confirmation emails, we give you some more information if you want to learn more about the organizations we're volunteering with, or maybe if once or twice a semester we have a big social kind of event where we sit down and talk about, this is my favorite service event and why, and this is why I serve, so we can talk about what I think is very unique about Lions Club. The thing that we all have in common is we're really passionate about service. Service committee, fire. I want us to have a good time. I want to have my goal with service would be that all of my chairs by the end of the year would be just as prepared as anybody could be to be the vice president the next year. So I just really want to. And probably the same qualities that I'm going to talk about in a second about an exec and BOD, but just very open, very friendly, have a lot of fun, and find those events that I talked about. And then exec and BOD, because as VP I'd be a part of that. I just want to continue what I think exec has done a very good job of this year, is just being very open, very communicative, and I think that's the best way to avoid conflict, and if there is conflict, just to be very open about it. And I think they've done a really good job of that this year. I just want to keep that going. But yeah, that's my sort of vision for service. I'll go ahead and open up to questions if you guys have any.
Biggest weakness and biggest strength as the vice president, and working with vice president?
Sure. I think what I've seen so far in my time at UT is that I tend to get a little bit too involved in things. Freshman year, I tried to join everything on campus, and it did not work. So sometimes I bite off a little bit more than I can chew, but next year I'm like taking less hours. I'm really focused on like dedicating more time to this, and I really want this position to be a priority in my life. Biggest strength, I don't like to talk about myself. I think I'm really passionate about service. That's what brought me to Lions. That's what informs all of these like goals that I have. And I just think that's really important for a vice president to have.
Can you give some examples of the events you would do with like your goals?
Sure.
Sorry, that was a weird way.
No. So like when I think about an event that has like a lot of these qualities, I think of like one of my favorite events, Central Texas Food Bank. We go there and we're doing work that's very meaningful, and we're always like, there's always something to do. The volunteer coordinators are very engaging and very nice, and you're placed in sort of like a small group, like you might be at a table like putting things on an assembly line with a couple other people, and so it's like very sociable. You're talking the whole time, there's music playing, so it's got that not perfect, but it's got that blend of like doing something that like is engaging and like you have stuff to do, but you're also like hanging out with Lions, which is like, I want that like vision for Lions Club to be apparent in all of our events. So that's like a model for like what I think is a really good service. Yeah.
What is something you think went wrong this year, and how would you go and change that next year?
In terms of, I'll just speak for service committee because I don't want to speak for the club. But it's actually something I did wrong as a service chair. Over the break we were trying to plan this big the first event of the semester, and originally it was going to be Central Texas Food Bank, and it sort of because of like the planning aspect of it, we didn't communicate with the coordinator enough, and so it sort of fell through, and we had to like luckily we had other people who were willing to work with us to like set up something for the beginning of the semester. But I think just that was a fault of like as a chair not planning far enough ahead, which I think is just something that the vice president and senior service chair had like planned so far in advance over the summer for like the fall semester, and that was really great. And I think it just should have been something that we like carried on and kept planning like super far ahead, because sometimes it felt like I was planning things that were only a couple weeks ahead, and maybe that's the fault of the chair, but I think we could have just talked about it more. So just like making sure that our events are like super far ahead, or not, like we have enough time to prepare, and like we have backups and stuff.
How do you plan on differentiating art club from other service orgs on campus?
Sure. Well, I really don't want to like speak for any other service org on campus, but I think what makes Lions special is that like personal welcoming aspect, and I think that was sort of organic and natural when we were really a lot smaller, because it was just like everyone knew each other, and so I think that if that's what separates us, that's something we need to like. And I'm not the first person to say this, but like as we get bigger, I think it needs to be a priority to like make sure we're keeping those personal connections, because like I said, that's what brought me to Lions and like kept me coming back, and I think that's true for a lot of people. So I mean that's something that I think exec is gonna have to work through, because like part of there's responsibility for each committee in that, and I think the responsibility for service is, like I said, making those events where you don't feel overwhelmed by the size of the club, and if you're doing like your job at the event, you have a few other people that you're working with, and you're getting to talk, and like you're meeting, if you're a new member, you're meeting current members who are talking about how great Lions is, and you're just, oh, these are the kind of people, and that like I think Lions have a certain model of like friendliness and like I said, passion for service. So I think just providing the opportunity for people to meet current Lions and see how much they love it, and then sort of yeah.
This year we tackled on a goal of getting 6,000 service hours by the end of the year. Are you still thinking of continuing that goal for next year, or is there a different goal in mind?
I think and we'll have to see like how many service hours we like actually complete this year, and I think it's something that's sort of hard to gauge, because we're never sure exactly how big our work's gonna be, and like we can't just look at the entire year and see like this is how many events we're gonna do and like how many hours and how many people are gonna come out. I just hesitate to like set a like goal like that. I don't think anything's bad with that, and like if we look at how well we do this year, I think it's probably a good idea to just have a number that we can say, okay, we're gonna shoot for this. To me, that's not like a priority. I'd much rather focus on like making our events meaningful and like focus on the quality of the event rather than like, oh, we're trying to get to this number. But of course, yeah, it's like, why not have like a goal to reach for? It's just not like the priority of mine.
Thank you.